CBS News, I'm Frank Sedapani. ISIS is fighting back. Gunmen and bombers launched a series of attacks today in and near the oil city of Kirkuk in northern Iraq. CBS's Holly Williams is on the scene with a Kurdish SWAT team in the heart of the city.
They are right beside a building that is being occupied by, they say, 6 to 8 ISIS forces, and they are shooting it out.
Kurdish authorities say at least 40 people have been killed, more than twice as many wounded.
They hit 8 or 9 different locations, including 3 police buildings and 3 other government buildings. There were multiple suicide bombers. We've been told 9 at this point. And then many of those attackers holed up in buildings all over the city.
The attacks in Kirkuk are seen as a diversion to neutralize the Iraqi offensive against the ISIS occupation force in Mosul, about 100 miles away. The Pentagon has confirmed the first American combat death in that campaign to retake Mosul. Here at home, a serious cyber attack seems to be over. CBS's Barry Bagnetto is live with the latest.
It was a big deal, then it wasn't. Some well-known high-traffic sites, including Twitter, Netflix, Zillow, Pinterest, and Spotify, suffered disruptions this morning, raising the specter of a widespread outage. But internet infrastructure provider Dyn says service was restored after about 2 hours. The problem was triggered by a denial of service attack aimed at Dyn. Someone, or a lot of someone's, flooded it with so much useless net traffic it couldn't handle the load. Frank?
A bail hearing will take place a few hours from now for Harold Martin, the contract worker accused of stealing enough government secrets to fill 200 laptops. The government will tell the judge Martin's too dangerous to be released. The talk of the town in New York today is about a charity dinner featuring speeches by Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
Donald started off very, very funny, took the high road, was somewhat classy, and then he drove off a cliff.
Trump's joke about his role in a Hillary Clinton administration got some laughs.
Either her ambassador to Iraq or to Afghanistan. It's my choice.
But there was some booze.
Hillary believes that it's vital to deceive the people by having one public policy and a totally different policy in private. Here she is tonight in public, pretending not to hate Catholics.
Dana Jacobson with CBS Sports tells us new information has come out in the domestic abuse case of New York Giants kicker Josh Brown, and the NFL is reopening the case.
The documents include emails and journal entries from Brown himself, where he writes, "I have abused my wife. I viewed myself as God, basically, and she was my slave."
Brown was never charged with any crime, but did serve a 1-game suspension before the new information came to light. In early trading on Wall Street, the averages are lower across the board. The Dow Industrials are down 98 points. This is CBS News.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Mortgage rates have dropped again. In fact, recently, mortgage rates have dropped to the second lowest level in history. Now is the time for you to take advantage of these historically low rates and save serious money every month by refinancing your mortgage. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is all the way down to 3.5%, APR 3.57%. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN to see how far we can lower your mortgage payment. For 6 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 3rd year, they also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. It's a great time to refinance with Quicken Loans and save hundreds every month. This ultra-low rate of 3.5% won't last long. So call 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Not much of a sweet thing. Could be too much. From London, CBS's Larry Miller has the latest from the Health Watch.
Sugar-free or sugar-full, just 2 12-ounce drinks a day increase the risk of type 2 diabetes by 2.5 times, according to a Swedish study. In the European Journal of Endocrinology, lead researcher Josephine Luftenberg says she's surprised.
We thought we would see some kind of difference between sugar drinks and artificially sweetened drinks.
Researchers say artificial sweeteners may affect microbes in the gut that lead to glucose intolerance, stimulate appetite, and encourage a sweet tooth. Larry Miller, CBS News, London.
Senator Bernie Sanders wants the soft drink industry to stop using his name in ads opposing proposed soda taxes in the San Francisco Bay Area. Sanders says the ads imply that he's against soda tax questions on the ballot in San Francisco and Oakland, and that's not the case. Frank Sedapani, CBS News.
If you've heard of WeatherTech floor liners, you probably know that for your vehicle's floor, nothing protects better. But what about protection for the rest of your car or truck? I'm David McNeil, founder of WeatherTech. Besides our floor liners, we design, engineer, and manufacture a wide range of automotive accessories right here in America. And just like our floor liners, everything is done to the highest standards possible. We understand what kind of investment owning a vehicle can be, so we do everything possible to help you protect it. We don't take shortcuts, and we never make concessions when it comes to quality. For everything from cargo liners to cleaning and detailing supplies, to mud flaps and car covers, the one place you need to go is WeatherTech.com. So if you are familiar with our floor liners, just imagine how well the rest of our products will work for you. Learn more at WeatherTech.com, call 1-800-CarMats, or visit our factory store off I-55 in Bolingbrook on Remington Boulevard. WeatherTech.com, proudly made in America.
Hey guys, watch my new bike trick. Whoa!
Accidents happen. When they do, LaPorte Hospital can help you get on the road to recovery faster. With our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, we will work to have you initially seen by a medical professional in 30 minutes or less. Less waiting, faster care. The 30 minutes or less ER service pledge at LaPorte Hospital.
Friday morning right here on our wonderful radio outlet, AM 1420 WIMS, WIMSradio.com, YoungerLife, of course, YouTube.com, YoungerLife, one word, little space, life. And you can go there and see us because in a matter of seconds, poof, we go. We are now to the beautiful folks we call Rick, Mary, and Guest. Right now, you guys ready? Say, I'm ready. Just say it, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Say it, I'm ready.
You're magic.
You're magic. Hi, I'm Rick Federici.
I'm Mary Anthony.
And you are?
Hey, I'm Dave Sisk from
Yeah.
YoungerLife.
Woo! I am so
It's
excited
magic.
to be here. It is.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, it's magic.
See, I know.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Mary Anthony goes,
Serenade me.
boys.
No.
Boys, she's going to
It's
take
Friday,
control.
it's okay.
Please. Listen, we're going to have a great time today. We're going to be very, I think we're going to have fun. It's a fun Friday. The fall
Of
colors are
course.
out, you guys.
I know.
Man, are they great.
It's my favorite. I love it. I say it. I sound like a broken record. I say it every day, but ooh, I love it. It makes me want to be outside nonstop, even in that cold. It was funny last night picking up a couple of my kids from practice. We had a little bit of time in between, so of course we were playing outside at the school, and I was my other three and my niece and nephew, and it was gorgeous. It was cold. It really was. It was very breezy by the evening. It was getting dark. And it gives me so much energy. They were playing, and I said, "Let's go, let's race.
Let's go for a walk. Let's do stuff."
Right, there you go.
But they were at the playground. I said, "Let's race to the woods." Doesn't look very far at our school. We started, and I quickly realized it's a lot farther than it looks. It was awesome. I still came in second, but it was nice. And by the time they got there, my nephew, he said, that was way too far. We should have picked something closer. I said, I know, but that was fun. And it just, you get back in the van and your face is cold, and I love it.
So do I. I feel alive during fall. I love it. Younger Life Live, great theme. A little healthier, longer. Dave Sisk looks fantastic today. You were commenting, as we both were, on the rainbow. Talk about your rainbow, because you were coming in from the South Bend area onto the heart of the Younger Life Live studios in Michigan City, Indiana.
Yeah, the rainbow. I saw the full rainbow. It was all just right over Michigan City. So it was really, really cool.
Wow. I only caught the one side. That's all I saw. It was just one side. But it was so vibrant. For a few minutes.
I thought about maybe I should turn off and maybe I should go find the end of it.
Look for that pot of gold. United Way could use it. There we go. Good causes.
Find that pot of gold, the United Way.
Yeah, I like it. There you go.
Yes, beautiful. It is. The United Way, and you, Dave, and Chris are great friends to us and to the Younger Life Live, and do amazing things.
And real quick thing, and not to interrupt, but to say, not only Younger Life Live, Gerard Media, but most importantly, our sponsor, the LaPorte Hospital, out of LaPorte, Indiana.
Well, this is the thing about the United Way. They partner with so many organizations, and it is unbelievable, honestly, how many they partner with. And the hospital is, of course, one of your big supporters. They love you.
Yeah, and I could just, off the top of my head, first of all, their United Way campaign is awesome at the hospital. Number two, they took the leap of faith with me several years ago on something called the community garden. And I got to tell you, where that community garden now is sitting in LaPorte was a parking lot. And so with LaPorte Hospital, they took the plunge. Coming from South Bend, and this was my spiel, I said, they've got tons of community gardens in South Bend. Why don't we have anything like that here? And I'm sick of all of the play that the community gardens in South Bend was getting.
Yeah.
How can we start something like this in LaPorte and Michigan City? And Mayor Milo came around and said, well, there's this empty parking lot over on Jefferson and Jackson.
Yeah.
Cool.
What if we just dig that out and make it into a community garden? So, we were out there, long story short, out there for several years to get to where now State Street Church has really taken hold of that. And it is a beautiful, beautiful community garden. And I would say that that's probably the first of many now. But thanks to the LaPorte Hospital for taking that, I got to tell you, a little sponsorship dollars there to get that to where it is today.
Yeah. Well, we talked to Nate Laux about the community garden, and I love their passion for it as well. And I think it was genius. I had no idea, honestly, as many times as we've talked to you, just in general, I see you here, we talk. I had no idea that you guys were involved in not only with the community garden, but the idea and the planning of.
Yes.
And it's amazing to me that how much United Way has their hands in. I mean, it really is. It's so important to our community, and it's always for the betterment of our community. That's what people don't understand.
Here's what's really cool about that community garden. So we had a filmmaker it's right now in the editing stage, but this was several years ago, and we were actually out there digging it up. And we had a filmmaker out there making a documentary of this whole process.
Oh, how neat.
And
awesome.
I kid you not that we had people drive by and yell at us when we were out there. I mean, I was just soaked in sweat with shovels and dirt all over myself, getting this stuff ready. People would drive by and yell at us, telling us we're wasting our time.
Oh,
really?
Oh, yeah.
That's
We had people ask us, why the heck are you building something like this in Heroin Park?
Oh, that's awful.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
And all of that stuff with my volunteers and stuff there that were out there helping us and hearing all this. And I kind of stopped after all these people went away, and I said, this is exactly where this community garden needs to be.
Yep.
We're going to change the way people think, about this neighborhood, and we're going to give the neighborhood the opportunity to take ownership of something beautiful right here. And they are, and they have, and it's awesome. Yeah, so we were in the very beginning stages of that with a few other great partners. Chris Meadows was definitely involved.
Chris Mo Meadows has been on Younger Life Live jamming with us in studio.
Yeah.
And has done some great stuff.
It was
with
so
us.
weird with Chris is he actually just kind of picked up the phone and called me, and he said, I really want to do a community garden. And I said, Chris, this has been on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start this. And
Wow.
and that's really how it started.
Yeah.
And it got, obviously it went to the next steps, which it needed to, away from Chris and Dave.
Sure.
To get it to where it is today. But we were right there when it was concrete.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
incredible,
always
isn't it, to see
fascinating
it
to me
evolve.
that these huge ideas, where they stem from, and how it just starts out as something small idea wise and then turns into this. I mean, it's so good for the community. It's good for families. It's great for the neighborhood specifically. It's been a fabulous blessing for the State Street Church and the PAC Center.
Yep.
I think it's just awesome. And again, I just am shocked. I had no idea.
And again, the intertwining, as David
Right.
pointed out, which I so love, the LaPorte Hospital, United Way, community pillars, families, people, neighborhoods.
Well, I think the
it's
hospital.
awesome.
I think something that's unique about our hospital that's always been different is they've been involved in a lot of things community wide that maybe people don't know that they are, and I think that's like it's very similar to the United Way in that sense. Like when we had Sheriff Boyd on discussing the drug issue and stuff.
heroin
I
epidemic.
was surprised to find out. I don't think a lot of people know, and I think that is that humble attitude. A little bit of the hospital is what's important for people to know without it being in their face. And I like that, the hospital donates all the Narcan for the officers to carry.
Which, by the way, let's
which is
explain
crazy.
that Narcan can actually revive someone that has
Reverse
overdosed
the effects
straight
of an
out.
overdose.
Exactly,
right.
yeah.
It just surprises me.
We had to address that with the early stages of the community garden because people were saying, well, they're going to plant marijuana here. The residents are going to plant marijuana here. You're going to be in there digging and pulling weeds and you're going to hit needles.
Oh.
So, I mean, we had to address all of that stuff.
Wow.
Now, it's all about making that a better neighborhood.
Agreed.
And I have to tell you, that community guards that community garden. So it is so cool to see a change in the pride that they take on that. And there's a different sort of traffic going around there now with volunteers, obviously with the church and the LaPorte volunteers from the hospital. So it's starting to change the dynamics of that. And it is the pillar community garden, and one that I think everybody wants to model now in other areas of LaPorte and in Michigan City.
Wow. Well, could you give us, just for our listeners maybe that haven't heard you join us before, could you give us an overview of what the United Way does?
Sure. And I'll be very, very simple, that the United Way raises money for other local nonprofits, honestly, so they don't have to raise as much money or work as hard at raising money. United Way raises this money for them so that they can do what they're supposed to be doing. I heard you talk that Barker Woods was in the other day, and the child care center. And let me tell you something so amazing about what they do is, if you have a child that is disabled mentally or physically, I have to tell you, that's the place. And that's the place that is referred by other agencies and by other child care centers, because they can handle that and they can be inclusive with that child. They've got the teachers that are trained to do that, and we fund that. And we would rather be the funder of that than having them take time away from doing their child care stuff, their educational stuff, and trying to go out there and raise thousands of dollars.
Right.
They shouldn't have to be doing that. And we all have our own little fundraisers. Don't get me
Absolutely,
wrong.
agree.
But usually United Way is the big boy in the room. And also for places like Barker Woods, when you're United Way funded, it also is a big hand up when you're applying for other grants, state, federal, or local. And I have to tell you, on federal grants, they ask you if you're United Way funding. And when you click yes to that, that shows those other grantors that, you're being...
You're legit, right?
You're being overseen by this
Gives it
body.
substance.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
It's almost like a housekeeping seal, a good housekeeping seal when you're United Way funded. It opens the doors to so many other funders and collaborations that just trust that you're United Way funded. We get it. So what do I mean by that? We have volunteers that go to the agencies, they talk to the directors, they talk to the clients, they see the reports and the feedback of what the dollar does. And they have to show us their audits.
Right.
So I mean, there's a huge accountability to when an organization gets United Way funding. So that's the power of that logo when an agency is United Way funding. So that's kind of what we do. We raise money so these other guys don't have to, and we hope that those dollars improve those services, improve capacity of what it is they're doing, and that's United Way in a nutshell. And we try and raise money however we can. The bread and butter is at those corporate campaigns where United Way usually comes in and talks, has about 5 minutes to talk about what we do and beg for a buck out of your employee paycheck. But we do mail campaigns where you get something in the mail. We do all of the events that I know we'll talk about here in a little bit too that raise money for United Way that we give out to the community.
I'd love to ask a question. And Mary and I have had so many different people and so many different folks on not only, on Younger Life Live, but WIMS through the last decade plus. And we're streaming live around the world, folks, thanks to our LaPorte Hospital. Can you kind of throw a number out there? And I don't want to kind of, throw you on the spot here, but I would love to just have you throw out there. Do you know around in our LaPorte County, how many businesses / organizations you guys help? Is there a number out there? I know it's changing.
Even some of the organizations, that's what I was thinking, because I know every time I've learned of one, like Barker Woods Enrichment Center, I had no idea. So when she mentioned that, I thought, wow. And I know Meals on Wheels, right? I mean, there are if you don't mind, could you name some
I'm
of them?
actually, so I don't miss anybody here, I'm going to read the list. Okay?
I think people will be shocked at that, because these are all agencies and organizations that support the betterment of our community and help out where there's a void somewhere else. So that's why I think it's surprising.
Absolutely. So here we go. First, and this is pretty much alphabetical order, American Red Cross. So the United Way funds the blood services, and it funds the veterans services, and it funds the disaster services when there's a house fire. That is all United Way funded coming in there. Barker Woods Enrichment Center. So not only their child care facility, but also their summer camp facility.
We chatted about that with Jenny. That was phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Of course.
Boys and Girls Club, right here in Michigan City. Catholic Charities, specific on this, that we do the wheelchair ramp program, and we help people who can't afford their rent, mortgage, or utility bills. We'll do that one time through Catholic Charities. So when you say Catholic Charities, it's not this big umbrella Catholic Charities. We hone that down very specifically to the local stuff.
Can I ask, can you explain a little bit too, because there's a lot of folks, a lot of us that take care of our parents, grandparents, or may have a family member or know of someone that utilizes wheelchairs. Can you explain just a little bit about the wheelchair program, if you wouldn't mind?
Absolutely.
To our Younger Life Live audience.
It's
By the way,
an amazing program.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave Siskind studio, Mary Anthony, Rick Federici. On YouTube.com right now, you could watch this. Younger Life, one word, a little space, and then live. And then you'll actually see Dave Sisk right now, who's in studio with us. And I'm loving this. But
so I'm gonna pull out some numbers here right now, just on the wheelchair ramp. Let me make sure I can see it. Okay, there we are. Last year, through Catholic Charities and the volunteers that we have doing this, 62 wheelchair ramps were built in LaPorte County for seniors and those that are disabled. And I have to tell you that, and I know it's a secret that not a lot of people know we do that, but if you are in need of a wheelchair to keep you in your home, to keep you safe, to keep you mobile so you can get out and do what you need to do, we will provide that service for you. I will tell you, last year at the allocations committee, without naming names, that it was a veteran who had lost his legs and came to our allocations committee meeting and was in the wheelchair and was just in tears about what this ramp enabled him now to do. It was life-saving.
Right.
So just there are stories like this for everybody, but one small nugget of what that wheelchair ramp does. So it is built by volunteers who are in the union trades. Okay. So this stuff it's real.
Right.
And it's going to stay together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Safe.
I will tell you that, we don't care if you're renting or if you own your home. Let me just say that. So sometimes, I'm renting this house and blah, blah, blah. We want you to be safe. We want you to be healthy. Let's go take care of business because it's about you. It's not about
That is so cool.
The
It's
rental.
amazing.
It really is.
I mean,
It's not about the
honestly,
mortgage person.
We know that the social aspect of our life is so important to our quality of life. And to not be, one, dealing with a disability that maybe you didn't have, or just aging in general and finding you can't get around as well and you need a wheelchair, but then having to cut off leaving your house and living your life like normal, or it being an enormous difficult, a huge equation to be able to do that is terrible. This is literally life-saving in the sense that it gives you back a piece of that, your independence yourself.
One thing that Medicare has yet to cover is wheelchair ramps.
Right.
So I know you had Dr. Cora talking about insurance
Yes,
and stuff earlier.
exactly.
One of the things that is not covered by any plan is the wheelchair ramp. I know that sounds silly, and I know officials are trying to work on that,
Yeah.
but
It doesn't
it's not
surprise
there.
me.
Well,
Right.
it's crazy.
It does
It's
not
one
surprise
of
me.
those things that has fallen
Right.
through the crack, that you guys have stepped in and noticed that gap and said, hey, we can help with this. What if someone out there does need a wheelchair ramp or know of someone that needs one? How do they get in touch? How do they apply? How do they ask about it?
Would that be through
Could
you
tell
guys?
us?
It's very simple. It's through the United Way 3-digit line 211.
211.
So we'll come back
Everybody
to that.
together.
We learned
1, 2,
about
3.
it before.
211.
So we'll get back to that.
Woo!
So yeah, that's Catholic
Great,
Charities. Then there's Dunebrook.
Yes.
So huge organization in town.
Had them in many times.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely. The
these guys.
Kaya program, the Family Advocates program.
Now that is
Amazing.
one that we absolutely near and dear. I
The
sit on
CASA
that
and the
board.
Kaya,
Yep,
we
help with that every
certainly,
year.
United Way funded. Grace Learning Center. You guys
Another
have
one
We did
got.
have them on
Kristen
too.
in here.
Let's keep let's
I
keep going.
love
We've
it.
had them on. We've had them on.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? This is great about
Hours
this.
for Hours, and that is the mentoring program
All over that.
with Michigan City area schools. Imagination Station. So on the other side of that, there's another
All
child
these
care center. Keys to Hope, which is the homeless support services here in town. Meals on Wheels. So I mentioned that, and I brought here. I'll hold these up for the
Okay,
camera.
hold on.
okay?
I'm going to go to a
This is
shot
so
of Dave.
cute.
And I'll tell you
Check
what this
this
has
out.
to do with Meals on Wheels.
Wow, look at that shot.
Look at this cute goodies.
Our second grade class at Queen of All Saints, every month they do a project with United Way. This month they made Halloween decorations, and I've got hundreds of them in my car that I will deliver to Meals on Wheels today. And when that meal is delivered today, they will also get a little something for their front
Is that
door.
the cutest
You know
thing
what? That's
in the
beautiful.
world?
One of the little things
Yeah.
that you didn't know United Way did. So without United Way funding, the cost of Meals on Wheels may be too much for those in need to pay for that. So we subsidize those meals. And I got to tell you that if there truly is someone that can't afford that, we make that happen with Meals on Wheels. So just, know
Every
that stuff.
single organization that tie in, we start out top of the show talking about the wonderful things that the LaPorte Hospital, who sponsors the show, helps out with Younger Life Live and intertwining it with the United Way. But scope out the multi-layered atmosphere going on here. And every single one of these people we've had on the radio station, WIMS, which you're listening to right now, the radio partner of Younger Life, AM 1420. And then
So I'm only halfway through, man.
That's what I'm saying. And the United Way. But this is just one county. This is just one county.
Well,
It's
that's
Dave's
why I
United
think I'm
Way of
always
LaPorte
surprised
County.
because we've had a lot of these
Incredible.
people on, and for them to mention United Way, I think, wait,
Nonstop.
really?
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. So
Yeah,
continue, I'm
so
sorry.
Open Door Adolescent Health Center. This is Deb Briggs over at the Michigan City High School. About 1,200 kiddos have come through the door there last year at the high school, and it is a healthcare facility in the high
Wow,
school.
I was
So
unaware of that.
If
That's
you are a
really
high
neat.
school at Michigan City and you are ill or sick, you can. We don't care about insurance. You walk into the health center, and you will get seen by a doctor or a nurse, and we will help you out. You can get your prescription there.
Wow.
And it keeps you in school.
Right.
It reduces absenteeism. All of that stuff.
It's a win-win
that goes
cycle
on
for everybody.
with
That's
having
fabulous.
a health center in the high school.
Wow, how long has that been open? I'm just curious.
Oh, for years and years,
Wow,
and
that's
absolutely
so neat.
no funding from schools or taxes or anything like that. It is grant funded and United Way funded,
Wow.
and that's that.
That is really amazing.
So let's keep going. Reed LaPorte County. I called in one day and said I love Mary Hedge, and she runs Reed LaPorte County. She also works for the LaPorte Library,
Yep.
teaching people how to read and how to do resumes.
Well, that is huge. That's something we've discussed once. One of the
Adults
things, too,
and
is
children.
That's it. Well, learning to do resumes is intimidating, especially if someone's been maybe out of the workforce for years or in the same job and then lose their job. It can be very difficult to figure out how to make a proper and an attractive resume, and to have assistance with that is amazing. And reading.
We're
That's
all
a
about
saint
our
right
reading
there.
here.
I mean, honestly,
reading
that's
is
a saint.
knowledge.
Teaching someone to read.
Knowledge is power.
Amazing and beautiful, no matter what.
You know, Dave, I wanted to throw this out there too. You were talking about the resumes, tying it into Younger Life, tying it into the United Way. A lot of folks out there, as you had mentioned, going back to the workforce, not knowing how to do it, but just let's be honest here, taking another step in life and saying, I am going to try something new. That whole step, that's a whole other side thought. And mention.
We had
that,
Dennis Foley, the author.
Wow.
And he literally, when I say career change, just said,
crazy.
I am an attorney, and you know what? This isn't for me anymore. I'm going to become an electrician. I think it's just so crazy and so brave. It's courageous, and it definitely takes some focus. And I love that he points out, he didn't even begin writing. He's a published author now of a few books, and did not even begin attempting that until his 40s, which I think is
again going back
awesome.
The Younger
Great.
Life theme.
That is the theme. I just love that. So
Sandcastle Shelter. That is a shelter for families.
Sure.
that have lost their home or are homeless or have some other issues going on there. That's United Way funded. Stepping Stone Shelter for women.
Absolutely
and
wonderful organization.
A lot of domestic violence issues going on there, and I have to tell you that when our great police force are into those situations, when they get called, where can the women go? The first stop is United Way funding Stepping Stone Shelter. Teen Court, which is a diversion program for again kiddos that have let's just say shoplifted or done something pretty minor, and instead of getting them into full-fledged court, probation, all the stuff, record, all the stuff that goes along with that sometimes it may not be in the best interest of that kid. They made a mistake. It's petty.
Right.
Let's not take taxpayer dollars and blog up the services of our court system. Teen Court, it is if you were caught shoplifting, something very minor, you would go and be represented by kids your age, and the crime would fit the punishment. And
That's neat.
And a lot of times that's volunteerism that has to come back out and stuff like that. So anyway, that's Teen Court. Both Salvation Armies, LaPorte and Michigan City. LaPorte, about $20,000 of that goes to the backpack food program in LaPorte.
Fabulous.
And you just ran a commercial on this, Rick, of the one that Jordan does in South Bend.
Yes, exactly.
We fund that operation here in LaPorte at the Salvation Army, and they're serving hundreds of kids with that. And the one in Michigan City, we do the men's shelter and we do the financial assistance stuff here in Michigan City. And then finally the YMCA, and specifically their child care program sitting over in LaPorte.
Really?
There are only 3 top tier level quality child care facilities in LaPorte County. We fund those 3. It's at the Y, it's at Barker, and it's at Imagination Station. They are the top tier in the state of child care facilities as far as quality and teachings. But all 3 of them are United Way funded.
And all 3 of them are in our community, which is amazing.
It's awesome.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Let's take a quick time out. We come back here on Younger Life Live. Rick Federici, Mary Anthony, Dave Siska. This is great. Just a sampling of what's going on. We're going to talk events. We're going to talk about neat things going on in and around our area, how we can help our veterans, and so many other great programs. When we come back and return, thanks for tuning us in here on Younger Life Live, of course, here. Don't forget youtube.com. You could scope it out. You could go to Younger Life, one word, little space live, and you can see this visually. And of course, you're hearing it on our radio partner, AM 1420 WIMS and WIMSradio.com. Stick around. We'll be right back.
During a medical emergency, every minute matters. That's why at LaPorte Hospital, you'll find less waiting where you need it most, in our emergency room. In fact, we will work to have you initially seen by a medical professional in 30 minutes or less. And because we're a full-service hospital, we can provide more care if you need it. Less waiting, faster care. The 30 minutes or less ER service pledge at LaPorte Hospital.
The United Way of LaPorte County presents its Fall Gala. Tickets are on sale right now, but they're going fast. The Fall Gala is happening November 11th at the Stardust Event Center, Blue Chip Casino, Hotel and Spa. Doors open at 6 p.m. Come on out and enjoy the food, drinks, and fun, and don't forget to dress in your finest 40s and 50s patriotic attire. It's a grand old time at the United Way of LaPorte County's Fall Gala. For more details, check out the website www.unitedwaylpc.org.
I love it. I love that.
People looking in the cameras right now. What do you see? What do you see?
Dave, all patriotic, all raring to go. Can you tell us a little bit about, well, since the commercial was about the event, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Huge event, huge fundraiser at
Yeah.
the Blue Chip. It's November 11th. That actually happens to be Veterans Day this year. And we hope to raise a ton of money for our community. Great event. Tickets on sale, UnitedWayLPC.org. And just a fun night out. Food, drinks, and auction items. The auction items that are coming in are incredible. Courtside Bulls tickets, several of those. Pacers tickets are in. Trips to Las Vegas, trips to Rick's favorite place in Mexico. And
Ricky Federici, Mexico.
Yeah, all kinds of baskets from local organizations that have donated. So great stuff. Let me tell you, to any of the businesses or small businesses out there that are listening, we would love to have your donation of an item. That could be a gift card even, that we could auction off. And we'll be more than happy to give you a tax deduction for all that stuff. But feel free to call us at United Way if you would like to donate something. And for sure, Ricky and I will be mentioning your donation during that event, which has about 600 people attend that. So
that's so cool.
Stuff.
It's always a sellout too, Mary. Just
Well,
so
the
you know,
auction, I'm
always.
curious, is it a silent auction? Is it an
Yes.
actual, it is a silent auction?
It is a
Okay.
silent auction. We'll have a company coming in this year that will do an electronic auction, and it'll be on your phones and on websites and all kinds of
Really?
cool stuff. And
That's so neat.
So another great
Excellent.
opportunity to promote your business by donating a silent auction item or items.
Can I throw this out there too? What happens is everybody's in such good vibe, and you get all kinds of stuff going. The food is just spectacular. You've got unbelievable people there, and it's all price points, and it's so skillfully positioned between the early portion of November and the holidays and Christmas that you could actually, I'm just going to say this with the utmost respect to everybody, you could donate, help, be a part of the solution, not the problem, and actually take care of someone, and it's a write-off. That's all I'm going to use that, and it's a write-off.
And I mean, you could Christmas shop.
Oh,
for,
totally.
You know,
Well, absolutely.
really
That's
neat.
we love that.
Yeah.
There are all kinds of cool things at this auction, from classic autographed materials that we have coming in. Of course, since it's Veterans Day, we have a lot of military items that are going to be there.
That's really neat.
And then we have we have kids baskets for children that a parent may want to buy. To sports tickets and tours and stuff like that.
You know, when you say kids baskets, I just want to clarify this is not a family event. This is adults only, right?
21 and over.
It is 21 and over.
Right. I just want to make sure when you say that. So.
And that's because it is an open bar.
Right.
And we have probably every distributor in the region at this event.
How really neat. And so in costumes this year?
Yeah, so
I heard
40s, 50s,
that's really
USO, military, Captain America.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something.
That's neat.
One thing that Rick Federici and Dave Sisk will be in, we will be in our tuxes. I at least will be in a tux. I don't know about you. What are you wearing? Oh,
I've always got crazy stuff lined up.
Okay,
You
I'll leave them
know
alone.
that.
By the way, we just got an instant text from Jenny, Jackie, and the crew at Parker Woods and Richmond Center. I don't know if anybody could see this, but maybe I'll just pull up a real quick shot of Ricky Federici. Hold on one second here. I don't know. You can see this. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at a different cam. She put, "We with a big heart love the United Way of LaPorte County. Love Jenny and the crew." So they're listening right now at Parker Woods and Richmond Center. They love you.
Well, I mean, we love what they do. I mean, no one else does what they do, guys.
Right.
That's what I think so amazing. I think, wow, it really is neat.
it is something that let's just say if they went away and you had a child that needed some special services, where the heck would you go? What would you do? How would you handle that as a working parent? Let's even go there.
Right.
How are you going to handle that, and where would you go? Let me tell you, the place in LaPorte County, we are so fortunate to have Barker Woods Enrichment Center that we have that sort of facility to handle that.
Right.
I agree.
Fabulous.
Yeah, very cool.
I'm going to throw out something. I'm just going to say the word so you know, Mary, Dave. Here goes Ricky again, throwing it right to Dave. Cards. I'm going to say magic cards.
Oh, okay.
Tell me about the cards. Yeah.
So we've got some here in studio.
Okay.
That we'll give you. You can dial 211. We'll mail them to you.
Really?
And these are discount prescription cards. And I know I've mentioned it before, but it is one of those little secrets that United Way has that are for anyone without insurance, or you're taking something your insurance doesn't cover. They will save you money. No income limits, no questions asked. The pharmacist just rings in the numbers on these cards. You can use the cards over and over again, and you will save money. And you can dial 211. We'll mail them to you. You can call us at United Way. We'll get them to you, and we're going to leave some here in studio as well too. Just to take back and do whatever you need to do. I went to the website. This is it. If you Google FamilyWise, that's kind of our brand for this.
Oh, I see.
If you Google FamilyWise, it'll come up, and you can get to their website. And I did this. You could put in the name of the drug, and you could put in your zip code, and it will list out for you the price of where to go when you use this card. So I happened to see a Lipitor commercial when I was sitting at home and watching TV, and I thought, oh, well, I'm going to go to FamilyWise. And, it pops up, search for the cost of the drug using the FamilyWise card. So I typed in Lipitor, and I typed in LaPorte zip code. And if you didn't have insurance, or your insurance wasn't covering Lipitor, and that's just the one I picked. No,
right.
You could pick any one. How much do you think you'd pay for that out of pocket?
I have no idea.
It's okay. I was going to say a lot of money.
It's hundreds of dollars.
I was just going to say big time.
For one fill or.
So it is so I put in that I wanted a 30 count, 10 milligram of Lipitor. So if you used our card, that prescription would cost you $13.19 at Walmart.
Wow.
And then you can just go down the list of
and
all.
Otherwise,
of
it's a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, I know.
I know discount card. I think like 10% off or something. That is
I know.
Huge.
I know.
Wow.
So so you could type. You could just type in some stuff, and they'll tell you, hey, this is the price. Use the card. Get this card, and
I love that it gives you the options.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's not telling you have to go to this pharmacy.
No, that was just the first one that popped up because it was the absolute cheapest and the closest one to where I was saying I was at.
Certainly.
But it also typed in, you can get Walgreens and CVS and Meijer and any of the independent drugstores. It'll all pop up. But
what if someone does have insurance? You said, you can't use it if your insurance.
Well, here's the trick. Here's the trick to that. If you're using what I just mentioned and you're paying more out of pocket, even if you have insurance than $13.19, if you forget your insurance and use the card.
Okay, just don't file it. You can do that. That's what I was going to ask. Are you able to do that?
It's possible your insurance covers everything.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Some people. Right.
Or it's possible it's only going to be $5 or something. But if you have to pay $20 out of pocket for that, I'm telling you, it's $13.19 at Walmart.
I have to share a story about that. My husband has fabulous insurance, and we even have great prescription insurance. The issue is we have to front the full amount, and then we file, and then we're reimbursed within about 6 weeks. Well, one time, one of my daughters she has allergy-induced asthma. Occasionally, it will trigger an asthma kind of thing. And she needed a set of inhalers. It was a couple different inhalers, medications. When we went to fill, they said, do you have insurance? And we said, oh, yeah, we have great insurance, but we pay for it. And then we filed the paperwork, and she said, it's extremely expensive. It was $800 for that fill. I said, okay, I can pay for that. Thankfully, I will have bills waiting, but I can pay for that.
Shuffle. We do the shuffle.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You
We've all
juggle
done that,
around.
right?
If I had a card like this, I would have gladly, taken that discount and not worried so much about filing I would have just said I would rather.
Yeah,
have a
I mean,
discounted
it's
amount up
weird.
front.
It's just like Dr. Kerr was. I hate to keep going back to
No,
that
it's
to an
fine.
earlier broadcast, but there are so many different things with Medicare Advantage and
Yes,
Medicare AB.
yes.
I mean, it's so tricky.
Can I ask a question too? Someone just said, "Is that 211? Do you have to hit a pound or anything?
No.
Is that on a regular phone?"
Yeah, on a reg, just dial 211.
So even on a
Like
cell
you would
phone?
Even on a
911,
cell phone.
Okay, I just want to make sure
911,
because
just like 911, but dial 211.
Okay, and then I also just literally just put Dave's picture up on WIMS's Facebook and Twitter, but I put the UnitedWayLPC.org website. Is that cool too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you guys have got
Yep.
the 211
and it'll
info
link
there.
up. It'll
That's
link
cool.
up to all that. Yeah,
Good.
absolutely.
I just want to make sure everybody knows.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of prescription costs, here I brought this little number in. LaPorte County, 16% of LaPorte County residents are in poverty. They are living in poverty. So how in the world, if someone needed
Right.
what you were just
I
talking about,
can't imagine. I don't even know what they would do.
What would you do?
I don't know. That's
21% of the people living in LaPorte County are living paycheck to paycheck. Again, we just talked about
That's the American way. I
I'm
gotta
just
be
kind of
honest with you.
surprised it's only 21%.
I know.
To be completely
a
honest,
lot of
I
people.
feel like that's more
I hear
like
that
81%.
from everybody. We're living
Yeah.
check to check.
Yep.
We're one check away from something unique.
So how do people deal with
Right.
that? And we hope that if it's a senior, they're using the Meals on Wheels stuff.
Yes.
If it's people with that don't have prescription coverage, they're at least using a card and getting some of these prescriptions at a discounted price at least, and not having to worry about, oh my gosh, I got to pay $300 for this. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
And just all of the services that long laundry list of services that are supported through United Way.
Wow.
So cool stuff going on.
Very, very.
Yeah, 211 and they just came out with a texting.
Oh,
so you said hit
Wow,
the
that's
number. So
killer.
I actually don't have the information on that yet, but it is just new as of last week. So now you can text 211 and 24/7 and get
is
answers
remarkable.
to your critical social service questions.
That would be a
It's
whole
remarkable.
other show
That's just crazy.
unto
I think.
itself.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Seriously.
stuff,
No, this
keeping
is
up with
wonderful.
technology, brother, right?
Wonderful.
That's where it is. We so aside from all of those agencies that are supported, and aside from prescriptions, and aside from 211, we do taxes for folks come tax time. Absolutely no reason, if you're earning $54,000 or less, we'll do your taxes for free from IRS
From
certified
a real
volunteers.
deal, operation. That's exactly what I want to
Yeah.
throw out there.
Yeah.
And the numbers and the stats that come out yearly, where you guys help out folks, that really helps a lot of people. Because let's be honest here, to go to a tax preparer, $100 to $300, and you could look at that adds. That's someone's groceries for a couple
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
A
Well,
family of four.
Yeah, and there are a lot of pop-up tax shops that like to take advantage of folks during that time. They do the service and they're wonderful at it, but it's going to cost you $200 or $300 for
Right.
that to
Easily.
be done. And you it's put out there that you think you're really getting a good deal, but you're not.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And so anyway, we do a myfreetaxes.com come tax time that will advertise again on WIMS that it is a H&R Block software. No need to go buy TurboTax or anything
Yeah.
like that. And that rate gets higher if you're $64,000 or less on your income. You can use this online verified H&R Block official tax software for absolutely free.
Wow.
So you don't need to buy that at a store.
Yeah.
It's up to date. It does everything. I used it last year and it was awesome. So just saying, that stuff is out
Was
there.
it easy to throw numbers in there?
Oh my gosh,
Kind of
yeah,
helped you along the way.
absolutely.
Because that's, I think, a lot of people are like, wow, there's boxes, there's
No,
numbers.
it
Am
is
I doing
asking
right?
you. It is asking you questions, and you plug in your numbers from your pay stub stuff, and then it's going to re-ask questions about donations. It's going to re-ask questions,
Prompts you.
about expenses. It's going to figure out how to do all this best, and you're plugging in these numbers, and it calculates it for you, and then it does a double check, asks you some more questions like, are you sure you didn't use your car for business or whatever? I mean,
Yeah.
It's good.
if you've got any
double check.
if you got any weird zeros in there that this software thinks, just making sure here. And I'll tell you what, and then it checks for your chances of an audit.
That's really neat.
So it processes and says, yeah, it looks like you're pretty good here. And you're going to get that quote unquote guarantee that you're not going to get audited here,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's going to file electronically.
Love it.
Which is fabulous. The only way to go.
Then
anymore.
the IRS in the state of Indiana send you back a text message.
That's nice.
If you
That's
put it,
good.
if you put in your mobile phone, if you,
Yeah. Sure.
if,
If you
if
opt
you
for
choose
that.
that, they will send you a text message and say, "We have your return. It looks like you're about 2 to 3 weeks out from getting a refund."
Wow. That's fantastic.
So cool, just all kinds of cool stuff going on. Bank On, which is coming around sooner than later. If you are unbanked in our community, if you're, we will actually want you to be banked, either at a bank or a credit union, because the fees you're spending to not be banked average out in LaPorte County at about $1,200 a year. We would rather you save that money, and we would rather you start saving for your future. If you have had trouble in the past, I will tell you that all is forgiven unless you have a felony. So having said that, things will be forgiven unless you have a felony. And that's through a lot of local banks that we're working with.
That's nice.
Here in LaPorte County to make that happen.
What about even for young people? I know, my daughter, driving age, some of her friends that are just starting to work haven't started a bank account or anything. I know her best friend actually gets the like a debit card paycheck. And I told her once, I think you're paying way more in fees than you
Absolutely.
need to. You ask your parents what bank they use and open your own. I mean, so you
I
assist
agree with
with
that,
that
open.
too.
So that is absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
When your paycheck is on one of those cards,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're using it probably right there on property of where they work,
Mm-hmm.
to do the banking needs, every other bank is going to charge a fee for that.
Yeah.
So you're either going to get feed every time you check your account, every time you withdraw $20. And honestly, what a lot of people do is do it one time and get all that money in their pockets.
Oh, okay.
Which again, maybe not the best idea. For me, it would be an awful idea.
I was going to say for a lot of us. Well, because if
when
you
we
have
have
you burn
cash,
it.
it's gone.
Well, yeah, exactly. A lot of us.
It's gone.
It's life.
Even when you're trying to be extremely good
Yeah.
about guarding it, it's 5, 10, 20
Yep.
year, and before you know it, you're like, wow, really? Is that
I'm gonna
envelope
I'm going
empty?
to spin this around, though. Dave is exactly right, though, because I have, speaking of, daughter's friend,
Yeah.
where they had that exact thing.
Yes.
But then they go to that, and pull out. All of a sudden, they're like, we have $15 in fees at $3 a pop.
Yes.
Because they went and did 5 different transactions.
Right.
So you've got to be very much in tune with that. But that's an excellent point, because all of a sudden you're like, where did my money go? That's a whole other side. But that's great.
So absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're very in tune to that
Mm-hmm.
and want to help people. So again, and if you're doing that, how are you going to save for your own car? How are you going to save for a medical
Absolutely.
expense? How are you going to save for a school uniform or books or whatever the case may be? So anyway,
Yeah.
those are some of the things we're trying to do. Our kindergarten countdown camps through United with Children. So a lot of people don't know this goes on.
Yes.
At LaPorte schools, at Michigan City schools, at New Prairie schools, and at the Little School Project in Westville. I will tell you that the schools have kindergarten roundups every year. And at those roundups, I have to tell you that they know who is behind. They either know the family because another child has come through, or in that little pre-test, that child does not know how to sit still. That child does not know how to write their own name. Stuff like that. If they, in the most cases, have not had Head Start, or they have not had a quality child care center, like those ones we talked about earlier, we will do a 4-week, what we call kindergarten camp with them, with the teachers in the schools, with the curriculum that they're going to be using in kindergarten. And in 4 weeks, pretty intense process here, but in 4 weeks, we're going to get them ready for the first day of kindergarten. So they are on track with everybody else coming in. They know how to write their name. They know how to line up to go to lunch. They know where their desk is going to be. They know the kindergarten teacher. They know how to write their name.
It's huge.
All of those simple things
huge.
that we take for granted as adults, I think. We make that happen in 4 weeks. Let me tell you, and I'll pick on New Prairie just a little bit, that at the kindergarten level, you will start, this may blow your mind because it blows my mind every time, but they're going to start their kindergartners out with an iPad.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, having said that, if
a lot
you,
of schools we talked about this before.
So if you
It's fabulous.
if you are one of our people in poverty, or maybe even living paycheck to paycheck, and you don't have a computer, you don't have internet service, how in these kids don't know this stuff?
Well, you know, and it's true. Even those that are used to using it, I know my first grader, a perfect example. They have Chromebooks. Well, he's used to an iPad or something because of maybe using those things at home.
Right.
But a Chromebook is a little laptop. So he knows how to type in his little password
Sure.
that they're supposed to use, but then to shut it down. I said once, do you know how to totally log off and shut it down? I don't mean just close the lid.
Right.
You know, how do you close out your math page? How do you shut it down? That is a process for them, and it's different. And I think it's great. You know, I'm very torn. I think it's wonderful to introduce them to these things so they are so good at it. I can tell you my kids are way better than I am at the electronic stuff for that reason, because they started so young. But it is crazy and scary for those kids that have never had the opportunity.
Imagine that. Imagine how far behind the first day of kindergarten.
Yeah. Yes.
How far behind you're going to be if you don't have any inkling of what this is and how to manipulate that device.
I would imagine kindergarten's overwhelming anyway.
Yep.
For some kids, it's the first time they're away from their parents.
Exactly.
And, and now most kindergartens, I think, in the area are all day. You know, I don't think there's any half day left.
That's right. And
that's a lot.
I hate to say this, but sometimes potty training comes into to our pre-4-week kindergarten countdown.
I think it's
camp.
wonderful. I didn't know you guys did that until you mentioned that another time to us, and I was shocked. And I think, to me, that's a beautiful thing.
It's amazing. The kindergarten teachers love it. We pre and post test on that. The kids are 20% better educated at the end of that, and again ready for that first day, and it totally makes sense. First day of kindergarten, you're on track, helps you through the rest of that year, helps you through the rest of your academic career, and that you're on track and
well, it sets the tone to love school, which we all have to love. Can you give us, Dave, your how to get back in touch with the United Way if people are interested in any of these programs, or even just finding out more about them?
Absolutely. The easiest way is either to call us, 219-210-3534. The website has an overload of information, but UnitedWayLPC.org, the events up there, our agencies are up there, a link to the 211 stuff is up there. The other way is to just pick up a phone and dial 211, like 911, but 211, and it is live answer. It is United Way 24/7. If you or someone you know is in need of something, we will do our best to steer you in the right direction. Because just like we were talking about insurance, social services is a little scary too for someone who's never had to utilize a food pantry. Let's just say that. Where are they?
Right.
B, when are they open? C, what do I need to have on my person when I walk into that food pantry? And what do they expect of me? And what am I going to get? I mean, give me an idea of what's going to be there. And so all of those things you could get through 211. We have a government system called the Township Trustee System. What are they? What township am I in? What do they do? What do I need to provide to them? And those are our tax dollars that help those in need, but they're there. Who are they? What do you do? How do you get to them?
This hour has just flown by.
I know.
I just love this because there's so much insight. There's so many great things, and it has evolved. Younger Life Live, of course, weekdays here through the end of this year, Monday through Friday, 9A to 10A Central. We'd like to thank the LaPorte Hospital for all that they do, being a sponsor for this wonderful program. Dave Sisk from the United Way was a wonderful guest, as always.
Oh, I
Dave,
know.
thank you
so
guys
much
for
for joining us.
having you on.
Our
You're
pleasure.
so great. I have Dave's picture up on WIMS's, our radio partners, Facebook and Twitter as well. And United Way LPC is a great website. I know we've got a lot of things. We've got about 50 seconds left. Mary, I know we've got a really cool thing with breast cancer coming up on Monday. Let's talk about this,
that was
please.
originally going to be this week, and we had rearranged just the, part of the
the
world
shtick.
we live in.
Yes.
And we have an amazing guest going to be joining us. She's actually a makeup artist and has done lots and lots of work, but has come up with, this is called Wig Ed.
Yes.
She's teaching us about appropriate wigs and how to choose one if you are in the situation where you might be dealing with breast cancer, or alopecia or these other things where hair loss. For children, she's dealt a lot with children and women and of all ages. So she's going to join us Monday. I'm really looking forward to that.
Dave, you have a great weekend. Mary, always a pleasure to work with you and an honor. I'm Rick Federici.
I'm Mary Anthony. Thanks so much, Dave.
Thank you, guys.
AM 1420, WIMS, Michigan City, a Girard Media Company station.